content creator for Dixie Belle Paint Company. I come live with you guys every Wednesday at 10 a.m. to do some fun painting tutorials. Today we're going to do something fun. Today we are going to decoupage the inside of this cabinet, this gargantuan cabinet that I am painting. It's a wardrobe. I have it laid down on its back because it's gigantic and it's my client's piece. They don't have a closet, so they are using this. So they requested that I paint it in a beautiful color and do some really fun stuff with it. So that's what we're doing today. So, yes, I have a laundry list of things that I need to finish on this cabinet, but first I thought I would try to decoupage the inside of this and hope that I can stretch one piece of paper out per door because I only have 3 and my local retailer doesn't have any, so I have to order them. But if you are looking for Dixie Belle products, you can go on the Dixie Belle website, and if you go up to the left-hand corner, type in your zip code where it says find a local retailer. You'll be able to find all of your local retailers in your area, and you'll be able to find all of the products that I am using today. So this was painted in the beautiful Magnolia, which is one of the brand new colors that just came out from Dixie Belle. It's absolutely gorgeous. Hey, Patty. And we will be pairing the Magnolia with the Peaceful Peonies, and we'll be decoupaging it. I have to boss the other side. This is raw wood underneath, so if I just applied this decoupage paper, you're gonna be able to see the wood underneath it because it's paper, we're getting it wet. It's gonna become a little translucent, and that's what happens. So, in order to not have that happen, I applied the boss underneath, which is the bonding boss from Dixie Belle. It is able to make it so your paint adheres to like glass or metal, and it also prevents bleed through, which would be this piece of furniture. I put 2 coats of boss down on this piece of furniture because, as you can see, it is very light colored paint, and that's what we're working with. So I'll do this next. We're gonna go ahead and I'm going to prime the other side of this and then decoupage, and if we still have time, I'm gonna do some brown wax in the would you bend part. So let me, there's that. Okay, getting my ducks in a row. We're gonna move over here, and that's what we're gonna be doing. And you're really far away because this piece is huge and I can't get everybody in exactly where you need to be, so we're just gonna wing it today, and this is just kind of what we're doing. Hi, Lynn. Hi from South Central Illinois. Thank you for watching today. And as you guys saw me paint this guy yesterday, it is larger than life. It is taller than me, just about. So I have a step stool that I will be sanding. I will be standing on a step stool, sanding the top of that. That is painted in driftwood, and then I'm going to add brown wax to that. That is going to match the entire set that I have been painting. I wanted to paint this live, but I didn't have time. It has to be up to my booth space probably by today, so I'll have to wax it and seal it. That's the hardware that goes on her. Isn't she beautiful? Hi from Michigan. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. All right, so that's her. And yes, my mirror is super sloppy, but I use a razor blade to get all that off because I don't tape, because it literally would take me 9 years to tape it, and it takes me 3 seconds to use a razor blade. I need to put something down right here. Bear with me. Where's my bag of rags? All right, bag of rags. If you don't have them yet, Dixie Belle sells bag of rags. They're amazing. I'm never gonna cut up t-shirts, so this works wonders for me because I can just grab a few, put them down, pop this up. You like my innovative, like this is how we got this thing to not touch. I have to prime this too. So we'll paint that later. And then this is my furniture dolly that I used to keep it so it didn't fall. And some paper, because why not, right? This is actually the sink that I was gifted, manual. We're gonna move you just a little bit more, and then we're gonna start priming. Hopefully we can get everything into this frame. If not, I am trying my best. Can we see? We can see-ish. Don't mind the hoarded mess behind you. This is my workshop. I work here. It's not gonna be perfectly curated because I'm not, and I would never wanna be that. All right, we have my Primago. My prime is over here. So if you guys have any questions about priming or anything like that, feel free to ask. Drop them in the comment section below. I will answer any paint-related Dixie Belle questions. I have my coffee because it's cold here today. It's like 34 degrees here this morning. We just went to the beach this weekend and it was like 80s, and now it's freezing. So I don't understand our weather. It's crazy. Coffee is always good. Got my rolling chair. And let's prime. Beautiful hardware. Thank you. Yeah, it's a really beautiful piece of furniture. I'm very excited about it. I hate this. Ugh, I'm the worst. I never put anything on the right way. It's always so hard for me to open it. I'm not gonna put that there. All right, so I already primed the other side about an hour ago, so it's good and dry. So we're just gonna go ahead and prime this side, and then we'll decoupage. All right, I'm just using a flat medium, and we're just gonna apply it. As you can see, the Dixie Belle Bonding Boss does have really good coverage. I'm gonna get paint on that. I'm wearing my daughter's hoodie because I couldn't find mine. And if I get paint on it, I'm pretty sure she'll beat me up. All right, and I don't want primer on that. So you just wanna be careful not to get it to leak. So you don't want a heavy brush with a lot. So you just come on these edges and you're just gonna come across. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm not worried about brush strokes because it's going underneath decoupage paper. And I'm painting what looks like a very thin piece of Luan. So again, doesn't have to be perfect. I just want something underneath. And you could use paint if you wanted to. I just happen to be using Boss because I don't want to waste paint to go underneath decoupage paper. You just want to make sure, like with wood, you want to get in all those little spots where it doesn't seep in. So you're going to paint a little thicker than you normally would. I paint really thin, so for me, I am going thicker than I normally would. But if you're a heavy-handed painter, just go at it. My client will be very, very happy once this gets returned. I'm hoping to have it back this weekend. I have the vanity. I'll show you guys the vanity that I painted in Pure Ocean. It came out so pretty. I'll be returning that to my client, another client. I've been opening up to a lot of customs here lately. Furniture sales have been kind of hit or miss. So when that happens, I still need to make money just like everybody else. So I open up to customs. And I've been doing really well with that. I used to only paint commission pieces. And then I got away from it. And now I am back into it again. And I actually really enjoy it. I love painting furniture and putting it in my booth, don't get me wrong. But there's just something about, you get to see the person's face when you have a piece of furniture. And you get to transform it to the way that they want it to be transformed. And they're surprised because it came out better, or they're so happy, or like, say like this piece of furniture, they've had this piece of furniture in their house for over 3 years. And she's been meaning to paint it herself, which she's more than capable of doing. And she was like, you know what? I've been having this here for 3 years. I have an idea what I want. Why don't you just go ahead and do it for me? And then I offered different things like, hey, let's match this piece of furniture to the existing pieces of furniture in your house. Because she has that very cute, like cottagey, farmhouse, cute house. So all of her furniture is manufactured. This is an original piece, obviously, because it's, you know, it's a little older. And she has that, like, everything is this color, but it has that, the brown wax in it. I'm pretty sure that was really popular a little while ago. And so she still has that kind of vibe going on in her house. So we're just mimicking that because this did not match her decor, but she knew she liked the piece of furniture and it was something that she had to have because, again, they don't have a coat closet. Switch hands so I don't get paint everywhere. There we go. I'm going to slide around and then I'll be able to read your comments a little bit better. Oh yeah, you're using Bonding Boss under decoupage. It's a really good idea. Again, like I said, you could paint if you want to. I don't really do that because I don't want to waste paint. I paint real thin and I try to be very resourceful with my stuff. I don't want to waste products at any given point. Stuff's expensive, you know, and you want it to last. Eggs are $10. I'm going to try to stretch a can of paint as far as I can get it to go. I'm going to freshen up the whole inside of this cabinet with probably some hemp oil or maybe Big Mama's butter. The only reason why I'm hesitant to use the Big Mama's butter is because it's a coat closet. I don't want any transfer. So hemp oil will it'll seal really well, and it'll still give that refreshed wood look that I'm looking for without as heavy as an oil. And a scent, because you don't want someone else's clothes to smell like Big Mama's butter. And then, you know, heaven forbid some of that gets on their clothes or a white jacket or something like that. I'm very, very cautious when I do things like that. Good morning, Shannon. How are you? Are you going to get chickens? You know, I thought about it. If I was going to get chickens, I would have gotten them already because they would have started laying. Jordan and his friends last night were in our old chicken coop because this is terrible. You know how long ago it's been since we've had chickens. I still have eggs in my chicken coop from when we had chickens. So I made the kids put gloves on, and then they went and they threw all the rotten eggs in the woods because I don't know why the kids just thought that was like the funnest thing to do. So that's what they did last night. I had a whole house full of teenagers. They all came over here, they ate dinner, and then they threw eggs in the woods and hung out by the fire down there and just kind of were living their best little lives. It was super cute. All right, so that's done. Again, that's the bonding balls on that. I'm gonna allow that to dry. I'm gonna put this lid on. So I do want chickens, but I just kind of, honestly, I don't want the responsibility of having them. I travel so much that I don't want anything else I have to take care of. Where'd my bag go? All right, I'm just gonna put this back in the bag so it doesn't dry out before I can wash it again. And stick this over here. And let me grab all the other things that I'm gonna need. Bear with me, guys, just one more second. There's that. This is for here. Grab a rag or 2 or 10. So yeah, I do miss them. They're fun to have, but the heartbreak of like, they're just so much work. I have to figure out a way to make sure my fence stays, you know, secure enough to where nothing can get in and try to kill them, which can be problematic sometimes. It's kind of hard. Like I have to animal, oh, we're real crooked. I have to animal proof my fence. So, and with my dog being sick, it's been kind of hard to pretty much do anything other than just take care of her. I know you guys know, like my big dog, I had to get off of here a couple weeks ago and take her to the vet appointment. My dog was diagnosed with bone cancer, and it's in her shoulder, and there's nothing that they can do for her. They could amputate it, but it honestly would be so painful, and she would only get a couple more months of life left out of her, and I'm not willing to do that. I'd rather her just live her best life for what little time she has left. Sorry guys, I'm looking for scissors. I swear I put them here. Yes, I did, and I just touched that. It's not bonding balls all over my fingers. All right, there's that. So yeah, so I've been doing. Good morning, Shannon. All right, so now what I'm going to do is, this is the paper. It's a repeating pattern, which makes my life way easier. Okay, I'm just measuring out. I think I can get away with using 3 sheets. That's what I was hoping. Okay, so now I'm just going to, what I like to do is, you can sand off the edges if you want to. I'm gonna cut this as close to this as possible. So I'm just cutting off the white border. It is rice paper, so it does have a little bit of texture in it. So if you get a part that's a little harder to cut through, that's why. I prefer the rice paper over the regular tissue paper. For me, it's much easier to use. That's just a preference. I'm not a dainty person, and I'm also not going to be able to put this down once and it be perfect. I'm gonna have to lift this thing up like 10 times because that's just how I work. With that being said, all right, so I think what I'm gonna have to do, we're gonna cut that and put that there. I'm gonna cut this top. In a perfect world, I'd be able to cut this in half and only use 2 papers, but I already know that that's not me. I'm not that good. All right, so there's that. Go ahead and just cut this all the way around. It is beautiful paper. This is Peaceful Peony paper, the rice paper. It's the A1 size, which happens to be my favorite size. I like to work with the larger papers than the smaller ones. I don't craft. I'm not a craft person. I'm just not. I don't enjoy it. I actually kind of really hate it at all costs. I have a booth, and every time I make anything small to sell in my booth, it never sells, so it's wasteful. And the amount of time that it takes me to craft something small, I could paint a giant piece of furniture. So I'm not a fan. Unless it's something small that I'm updating for my house, you won't see me craft. So with that being said, I like these larger papers because I'm going to be putting them down the front of a piece of furniture. I'm going to be using it on a drawer. I'm going to be using it on the inside like I am here. So for me, this is more versatile for what I would use it for. I'm going to show you my secret to get these little crinkly things out, because it's folded, right? This paper is folded. You can steam it if you want to. I have a steamer from Wagner, and it's amazing, and I love it. I'll show you guys a demonstration on that on my page, not here, if you want to see that. But I don't want to do that right now, and it's easier for me just to do what I'm going to show you. But if you want something seamless and perfect, then go for that. Again, I am not seamless and perfect. That's not my brand. I'm a perfectionist by, but not. All right. Again, if you wanted this to be perfectly cut, you could use a paper cutter or something. I literally just used scissors. Okay. So this is the half part. So it's definitely bigger than half. So I definitely have to use more than one piece of paper. What we're going to do, all right. Pull it out just a little bit. So I want to overlap just a little bit, right? Because my edge is not perfect, and so that way I can get, and again, this piece of furniture is not perfect either. Okay, and now what I'm gonna do, because I don't measure, I'm gonna pull this out just where I want it to. I already know I have to open up another pack, and that's fine. So what I'm going to do, so I don't have to use a bunch of different packs, so I'm gonna get away with using the 3 pieces of paper, which is what I have. So this one is going to face one way, right? Whatever way you pull it out of the package, I'm gonna reverse it on the other side so I can cut the other paper in half and use the top for the top and the bottom for the bottom, if that makes sense. So that's how I'm gonna do that. I've overlapped this just a little bit, and now I'm going to take my fingers. This is my very precise way of measuring over here, guys. And now I'm going to cut outside of that line, not in front of it, because again, I need wiggle room. And this line does not have to be perfect because I'll be sanding it off. So we're just literally cutting straight down that decoupage paper about 1/4 of an inch from where I measured roughly with my fingers, because you know, that's how we roll around here. I'm going to save this for another project or something later for drawers. That's the perfect size to go across the top of drawers. Read you guys. Okay, whatever that is. Okay, so now here's my paper. What I'm going to do is just lightly, I'm not saturating this, you guys. I'm lightly misting. Okay, lightly misting. And now we're just gonna crumple it up. All right, so now my creases are gone. Now it's just crinkled, right? I'd rather that be crinkled and then I can, well, that part wasn't very wet. So now I made more crinkles. All right, perfect. So now that's like, it's soft, right? Again, if this was tissue paper, I would have destroyed this 16 times already. I'm gonna leave that right there. I'm gonna take this jacket off because I'm gonna get top coat all over it. My kid's gonna kill me. All right, put that on my step ladder. I have to stand on a step ladder today and sand the top of that piece of furniture. That should be fun. All right, we're using satin clear coat as our glue for the decoupage paper. I'm going to be decoupaging a little at a time. Okay, big piece of paper. I don't want to do it all at once. Obviously, it's going to dry. All right. You want to make sure whatever you have underneath here is dry enough, because if you don't wait long enough, as soon as I put this top coat on here, it's going to reactivate it and it's going to make a hot mess. I have this propped up on a my toolbox, because if you don't do that when you have hinges like that, you'll pop it off and there's a mirror on the back and I'll break it and my client would be mad and be sad for everybody, and I don't know how to fix that, nor do I want to. So that's what we're doing there. I'm using an ample amount of top coat to decoupage. This is the wet method. You can use the iron-on method. There's a million different ways that you can do this. Not one is wrong and not one is right. This is just what I'm doing. Okay? Now, I'm going to line that up. Let me grab a sanding pad. Hold on, guys. The Dixie Belle sanding pad sponges are amazing. They come in super handy. You're fine. I don't care about the wrinkles. It doesn't bother me. I'm going to use this side of the sanding pad. Yeah, wrinkles don't bother me. It's decoupage paper. It's supposed to be vintage and caught like pretty and... And there's little, like, you can see, this is not enough. Again, if it's not enough, you just re-lift it up, you add more. It's soaking it up, even with that primer underneath it. So that's why you need to be good and careful. When you lift up your paper, you are running the risk of making it more fragile, so you need to be very careful. That does not want to stay on that corner. Stay. Taking the back of that sanding sponge, you can use a brayer, you can use saran wrap, you can use your hand, you can use your forehead, you can use whatever you want. Whatever you want, okay? I'm using this. And again, we're doing very little at a time. Because it is a larger paper. 4 or 5 inches at a time is what I'm working with. I'm not pushing it. I'm like lightly, like very lightly using it. Making sure I'm not missing anything. Okay, now we're gonna peel back again to right to where we were. Decoupage doesn't have to be perfect. I think a lot of people put so much pressure on themselves. I've been decoupaging for a really long time and applying transfers for a really long time. So I know it looks easy, but I promise you it is. And there's nothing that you can't fix. If you tear the paper, just grab a piece and patch it. It's not a big deal. If you don't like where it is, pick it up and relay it back down. It's not that serious. You just have to be careful. Just be patient and work in small sections. And if you want, you can kind of hold it up a little bit and just kind of wiggle back and forth to make sure that there's not any crazy wrinkles. And if there is, again, it's kind of the aesthetics of her house, and it's not going to be perfect. And if you want perfect, you'll buy something that was manufactured, not homemade. And so I'm just pushing down the creases because, again, there's going to be creases. Okay, and then we're gonna peel back again, about right there. I think in content creating, there's so much pressure for everybody to be so perfect. And I hope that, I'm not one of those creators, so I hope that this gives you the confidence to be able to tackle something yourself and to know it's not perfect and it doesn't have to be, and it's just gonna be pretty, and that's all that matters. Okay. And again, I'm just lifting very lightly and pulling, not pulling, but I'm just a little tension on the paper, very little. Okay. Pull back just a little bit. There's a girl that I follow, she's a gym girl, and she's always talking about how people are so hard on themselves because you compare yourself to all these creators that literally are photoshopping and holding their bodies in a certain way that nobody looks like that, and so she'll pose in a certain way where she looks like she's like perfect. And then she pulls her leggings down and she's got a belly, and she was like, I have a belly too. She was like, yes, I work out 2 hours a day. She was like, but don't believe my staged pictures. She's like, those pictures are taken with perfect lighting and they're edited and I'm posed. So the same thing with this, okay? When you see my pictures, it's because I've made sure everything is absolutely perfect, and you can see my process where it's just fun. Like, have fun with it. If you're not having fun, don't do it. I have this motto, and I do this with everything in my life and with my children. I do everything until if it makes sense, I'm gonna do it. The second that something doesn't align with my lifestyle or my lifestyle changes and it doesn't make sense anymore, I'm not gonna do it anymore. I'm just not. You get to live this life one time, and you should wake up with the fire in your soul and be excited every day that it's a new day and not dread it. That's just how I am. If I don't want to do something, you can't make me do it. It's not going to happen. No amount of pressure in the world is gonna make me want to do something that I don't want to do. All right, we're gonna peel back right here because that's just giving me a little bit of a problem, and we're gonna do the same right here. And we're just gonna rub right on up. There was an awful amount that I blobbed. All right. And now we're just gonna paint right back on top of it. So like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. This is gonna seal it. It's a little top coat sandwich action here. Okay. Put it on nice and thick. Make sure you get those edges because I want my edges kind of on there. And I'm overlapping the top of this because the next piece of paper is going to come overlapping it. We have a couple, I guess. They have that nautical one. They have like, they're very versatile. I think they have like a little bit of everything and not like focus on just one thing. So, but they're always dropping new products, so definitely keep an eye out. Or write them and tell them, hey, I want more of this. It doesn't hurt to ask. I ask for all kinds of stuff I don't get all the time. And no to me just means not right now. Okay, cool. You can see there's crinkles in here. Again, not perfect. If I wanted it perfectly flat, I would use the iron method. I'll show you guys that one day. I have a piece of art that I decoupaged over my bed that I used the iron-on method and painted a piece of wood and did a whole frame thing. It was really pretty. But it was a lot of work, and I did that like 4 years ago, and I never did it again. Because this is way quicker. And again, unless you're OCD about it, it doesn't have to be perfect. These edges keep lifting up, and that's fine. What I'll do is I'll sand them off because they're not flat to it. You can also apply some glue to it if you want, if they keep doing that. But for the most part, if you just kind of force it down with the edge of your brush, it'll stick, but you want to make sure that you're not sticking it to your piece because once that sticks, good luck, it's never coming off. So, just know that. I've done that before, and then I've had to like sand it off, and it was a hot mess. So just be careful. I'm just going back very lightly and smoothing out any like blobs of top coat that I may have gotten on here. And that's that. So I'll leave that be. I think I have wax in here. I can't remember. Are you brown or black? Find my wax. And again, this is just leaning on my toolbox because I have to, like I said, these hinges right here, they're old and the door is heavy. So if I don't lean it on something to bear the weight because it's not standing up, the weight of the door will rip it off and it'll break. So there's that. This will dry and will look really pretty once I'm done. And I'll do the other side. I'll record that for content. Let me find my wax and I can show you what I was trying to do. I don't know where I stuck it. La la la. That's black. If I can't find it, we'll do it another day. I'm the world's worst for never putting anything away. That's gray. That's clear. Where's my brown wax? That's clear. How many clear waxes do I have? I like to seal a lot of stuff with wax. So that's clear wax. Hold on 1 second, guys. Big Mama's butter. I have a feeling that my wax is hiding somewhere in plain sight. I just don't know where it is right now. So instead of wasting you guys' time while I'm looking for it, I think we'll just move on to something else. Where are you? Flannel, that's clear. I'm like the worst when it comes to this. That's a socket. All right, let me check this bucket one more time. I have a bucket that I put some project stuff in. It's not it. All right, well, I don't know where she went. That's a new product I haven't opened yet. Okay. All right, guys, what time is it? It's 10:38. I wanted to show you how I was going to wax this, but like I said, I can't find my wax. I don't know where I stuck it. So I'm going to pop off, and I'm going to show you guys the vanity that I just did. And we'll call it. Sound good? All right, let's flip you guys around. How do I flip you? Oh, that button. So here is I upholstered this, which this color is pure ocean. Like we matched it perfectly. And so it's very rustic. Like there was a lot of texture in the paint because it was latex house paint and there was no way for me to strip all that off. So we put the bonding boss on top of it. I did 3 coats of bonding boss and I sanded it really good and smooth to make sure that there was nothing that was going to pick off. But you can see all that texture that's on there. That's the sea spray that I mixed with that. And then we painted the inside of this. And then I did this with you guys live where we decoupaged the fabric onto it. And then there's the knob that matches it. It is a vanity. The mirror is very fragile, so I'm not going to be putting that back on there to stage it. I just walked right into that thing. I'll be doing that. So that's how she came out. She's actually really pretty. And then I'll be finishing this up with all that detail in the brown wax. This guy will hopefully be out of here by the next time that we go live, and I'll be working on another project with you guys from start to finish. But that's it, guys. I hope everybody has a wonderful day. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Dixie Belle, thank you for having me. And I will catch you guys next Wednesday at 10 a.m. I hope everybody has a wonderful week and safe, and I'll catch you guys